I'm sure a lot of people has this park on their bucket list like I had.
After Movie Park, we went to Phantasialand in Germany, the 5th park of our Halloween tour.
We're talking about our coaster breaks tours, and we already have a video here about our itinerary. Wallaby Holland, Wallaby Belgium, F.L.Y, Movie Park Germany, and now we're talking about our favorite park from the tour, which is Phantasialand. I'm sure a lot of people has this park on their bucket list like I had. They had like F.L.Y and Taron, and like everything that they have is amazing. But like when I started this tour, this was the coaster that I was most anticipating, and we have a tour guide that is gonna give us some tips about the park.
And yes, so Phantasialand. Phantasialand is just fantastic. Everything about I just love Phantasialand so much. So Phantasialand does not have a Halloween event. They do have a winter event, which is amazing that you've got to check out as well. Now, on our tour, we get there nice and early. 9 a.m. the park opens. So this is an earlier start than any other park in Europe that we visited this week. But rides don't open until 10, but we are at that door at 8:45 ready to run. What you need to do with Phantasialand is get straight in, and I always head straight to F.L.Y. Now, of course, when you've only been there if you've never been there before, you're going to be so excited. You're going to see Taron and even Mystery Castle if you're going through that entrance. It's so exciting seeing it for the first time. It really is. The Chinese area, which has some of the most beautiful Chinese buildings, which are all authentic buildings shipped in from China. You head over to the F.L.Y area, you see Taron for the first time, and your mind is just, you cannot believe when you see this for the first time. You get into the main street, past the aeroplanes, and through the gate and to Rookburgh. Now we get in the queue, and how did you feel when you walked through that? How did you feel when you first saw?
It's hard to explain because Phantasialand is like you said, it's a whole other level of teaming. Like, the whole park is like importing a building from China to make it like authentic. It's crazy, and they do it in every part of the park. Like Marco said, it's hard to just keep moving to fly because you want to stop everywhere and just see everything and just yeah.
Do you find like with Phantasialand you could go there, ride no coasters, and just look at things, and that would be an amazing
just walk
day.
around the park and and look at the rides because they were amazing to see. But yeah, we went straight to F.L.Y. The area of F.L.Y is amazing.
So it's themed to 1920 steampunk, and the area is called Rookburgh. This is about creating a new transportation device that's going to take us around and fly us around the port. You see like Port 1, Port 2 written up on the walls. You see like steam train, and every time F.L.Y dispatches, you hear the steam train, the steam noise blaring off just before you then see the train launch. It is absolutely beautiful, the area. You have one area, you have a hotel, which counts as like a sound barrier. Then you have the sound barrier, which is also themed because Phantasialand has to have sound barriers throughout all their lands to protect their locals because they're so close to all these houses. And it makes for such a rich environment as you go through the area. Now, I'm not going to talk about any of the pre-show to F.L.Y, how you board the station, go there and experience this. You cannot take anything on the ride. Everything has to go into a locker, and that is in the station or just before the station. You get given a wristband, and then go through like, airport security. It's free. So that way there's no netting distracting you in the ride. It's just, it looks the part. It looks so good. The ride itself is the experience. To me,
it's unique. It's unique.
Unique.
You have it's a launch flying coaster, and the teaming is the key to the ride.
Yeah.
So you're flying above all these buildings of this area, which is amazing. Like we said, and you're so close to the buildings. It feels like your knees is gonna hit the roofs of the buildings, and it's just so good.
There's a lot of airtime moments, which is weird on a flying coaster. There's some positive G-forces throughout helixes, but it's all about gracefully flying, and that's how they managed to really create that full experience that the ride offers. if you go on there expecting one of the most intense roller coasters in the world, you'll leave disappointed. If you go on there expecting to have the flying experience through Rookburgh, that's what you get. And that's what I love about it.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite flying coaster.
F.L.Y is great. There's also a chocolate shop there, which is amazing. Some amazing chocolate, very reasonably priced as well. Presents to take home to friends and family. So recommend that. This year, they've released a book on a comic book. It looks like Tintin, if you know who Tintin is, but it's only in Dutch, which is weird that you can't even get it in German.
They have a newspaper telling the story about the area and about F.L.Y. I really wanted to read the newspaper. They talk about the history about the hotel and everything.
So that's the area of Rookburgh. From there, we go straight to Black Mamba, Talocan and Chiapas. And we do that then because we start to let the queue die down for Taron.
Black Mamba is an inverted B&M, Talocan is a top spin, and Chiapas is a log flume.
Unfortunately,
Was closed on the day that I went there, and I've heard it's the best log flume.
Chiapas is really unreliable, so it's such a shame. I've been there so many times where it's been down now, so hopefully it can start to become a little bit more reliable. But yeah, you have missed out. But there's a reason to go back. So Black Mamba's a really good B&M invert. It's just good, very well themed B&M invert.
The station is really cool.
Yeah. And Talocan that's the ride that goes viral all the time.
Yeah, Talocan is just insane. Talocan is the best top spin they have ever done. It's very forceful on the spins. It spins a lot. And it has a really cool effect with fire and water.
And the music is so good.
Yeah, and the music.
It's like watching a show, and there's a viewing platform at the top that is always so busy of just people watching, which is always great to see. Taron, Klugheim. Okay, this is in bucket list for everyone. If you've not been on Taron, it is just you have to get on it. So Taron, when it opened, it was the world's fastest multi-launch coaster. You get up to 72 miles per hour. It's the noise, the second launch, the noise the launch makes is so good. You just walk into the area and you hear this noise go through. I love it. So many trains going around the track at the same time. It's just so many turns left and right. It's not about inversion, it's about low to the ground turns throughout this mystery world of Klugheim.
Yeah, so like I said, Taron and F.L.Y were both bucket list coasters for me. I think F.L.Y is more about the experience and the teaming and to be like so unique. Taron, it's all about like the experience as well. It's so well teamed and you're like surrounded by this teaming, but it's also the perfect ride. Yeah. Like the ride itself is amazing. Even if you put it in a parking lot, it would still be amazing. And this is why I think Taron, I struggled at first to see, I struggled at first to decide which one was my favorite, but definitely Taron, like the ride experience itself.
So first time I went on Taron, it didn't make my top 10. It's now at number 5. I just love it. I absolutely love Taron. And I find the more I go on it, the more I am anticipated to get back on it. It's amazing how the respect that I now give Taron. So some people say, is it overrated? And yes and no is the best way I can describe it. People do talk about it because we love it. We just get passionate about these rides. And I think that can play on you with such high expectations.
It's the full package. We just recently went to Maverick, like I-305.
Yeah.
Which is amazing, like both of them. But we're talking about like how much Taron stands out because it's like them. It's amazing, but it has all this teaming. Like it's everything that you want in a coaster, and yeah, we just love it. And
the whole area is a great place to get a stein. So if you want a beer, you can get a whole stein in that area.
And just watch Taron.
Just hear that noise. So great. The front row queue is not that long, and I do think Taron is a front row ride. So as you go through, sometimes you even see the front row queue. It's actually shorter than the main queue because people have missed it. So as you come out through the cattle pen area, just look to the left, you'll see a front row queue. and Taron on the front is amazing. I've been to Winterarm. Unfortunately, Gabby hasn't, but one day I will take you there because it's so good. Winterarm, Taron is just next level. Taron can run up to minus 11 degrees Celsius. That's cold. That's very cold. I went there, my head was freezing. At night, the lighting package is amazing. And in the second launch, they fill it with mist and red lights, and you just hit that second launch, and it is just perfect. It's the perfect launch on a multi-launch coaster, in my opinion, with that. Winterarm Taron is next level Taron. So try to do that as well, and you may find it going up your rankings. You've got some amazing spinning coasters, Winja, Sphere and Force. They're really quirky. They have some really different things. They were really far ahead of their times when they're built. So check out Winja, Sphere and Force. They're pretty cool. I know my favourite.
What? Okay.
Fear is better than Force because Fear has more force than Force.
After that, we did Crazy Beds, which is an indoor coaster of VR. Blow my mind. It's amazing. Like, everyone on the tour was like, I was not expecting to be that good. I've done VR coasters before, and they were like, okay, Crazy Beds is another level. It's a really good VR. It was the first time that I went on a coaster with a VR that it makes sense to be a VR. So it makes the coaster so much more intense. It's so well done. The VR is really good, and it's just amazing. It's one of my favorites at the park. Better than Black Mamba. I don't really like inverted coasters, so it doesn't count that much. But Crazy Beds, but everyone say that it's really good and really worth it.
Colorado Adventure.
The Mine Train.
Oh, the Michael Jackson Mine Train. So Michael Jackson actually opened Colorado Adventure. It used to be known as the Michael Jackson Thrill Coaster. So we always do Michael Jackson quotes. It's hilarious, but it's such a good mine train. It's one of the best in the world. It's indoors, outdoors. It's going everywhere. Over the times, they've had more and more theming included. So that's really good. So it's great to see all this. It's so well themed, and it's just great force. It's just good fun. Love a good mine train.
Then you have Myy Castle, that is an indoor shot and drop tower. Again, amazing teaming there. Such a cool experience for a drop tower.
I'm not going to give too much away, but there's some amazing lights, noise, the sound it makes, really good. Check it out. If you have a fear of drop towers, do this. It's indoors, so it's not got the perception of height as much as other drop towers. So please make sure you check that out. Even if you've got a fear, it's a good one to get you slowly into drop towers. The Rapids, yeah. River Quest. River Quest can be soaking or dry or soaking. It's a very, very good ride. I always go on with a poncho now, just because.
It has a big drop.
Yeah. It had the record for the biggest drop on a Rapids ride before Infinity Falls in SeaWorld Orlando took that, which, of course, we've done as well. So there's a video on our channel of us on there. There's a few rides that are not so great, like the Geisterrichter, which is the ghost train themed in the Chinese area. That's not so good. Vekoma Madhouse, if you know me, I'm not a big fan of Vekoma Madhouses. That's where the room is spinning, in case you don't know what a Vekoma Madhouse is. But once you've done one, you've done them all. You sit in, the room spins, you leave.
If you've never done a Vekoma Madhouse,
yeah, do it.
Do it because it's worth it. It's worth it to do. I really enjoy the first one that I've been to. So yeah, if you've never been to, try it.
Yeah.
If you have time, because if you don't, just a
Taron. Also by Taron, and in Klugheim, you've got the Foma Family boomerang bike. Really good. Make sure you check that out. There's some really quirky elements to that. The lights change depending on if the coaster's going forwards or backwards. There's a clock in the station. The clock moves forwards when the coaster's going forwards, moves backwards when the coaster's going backwards. Really cool, quirky bits that people normally miss. So check out Reich. Food, there's so many choices. The cashiers, if you want something quick and easy, which is by the bridge near Talocan, between Talocan and Berlin Street. They're quick and easy to get. The amazing sandwiches by the F.L.Y exit. It's all got like steak. The steak one is so good there. Bags in the station, which is great. So they have the compartments for you to put your bags in. Only problem with Phantasialand, it shuts so early. We want it to open until late. It shuts at 5:45 in the summer. Winter it is at 8 p.m. though.
So, Phantasialand is a great park. We just went there for one day in our tour, so I have only been there for one day. I really want to go back. It's definitely a park that it's worth visiting for more than one day. If you have the chance, just spend more than one day there. If you really have a chance, stay in the hotel on site. You have benefits. Depending on the hotel that you stay, you have different benefits, considering the area that they are located. Basically, Phantasialand is a perfect park. Great rides, great teaming, great atmosphere. I would stay at least one day to just walk around, see everything, and have enough time to do re-rides because you want to do re-rides. Do a lot of re-rides on Taron F.L.Y because it's just worth it. Phantasialand was also a big part for us because it was the first time that we planned our first extended tour, which was the UK part of this tour that we're talking later on the next videos. But first, our next video would be about Toverland. That is the park that we went in the next day. So make sure to subscribe to check out these next videos.
Stay tuned in the next episode to see where we're going next.